By the end of this video, you will learn how to make this procedural granite material. You can customize the colors, change the roughness, and get infinite variations using the seed value. This material is part of Shader, a fully procedural material library for Blender, with over 360 professional-grade, realistic materials, and many others to come. If you want to learn more about Shader and all its features, you should go and watch this video or go to the product page on Blender Market or Gumroad. You will find links in the description below. The limited version is only $5, so you might want to look into that. During this video, you will see me use this shortcut Ctrl-Shift-Left-Click to preview different nodes. It's built into Blender with the Node Wrangler add-in. You just have to activate it from your add-on preferences. I'm going to split this window in two and select the shader editor. Create a new material and begin by adding a texture coordinate node. Then add a Voronoi texture, set it to 4D, set the detail to 2 and the roughness to 0.95. Also set the scale to 100. Now we have the basic shape, but we can make it even better by distorting the Voronoi. Add a noise texture, plug the texture coordinate into the vector, and set the detail and roughness to these values. We want to use the same scale for the noise and Voronoi, so add a value node, set it to 100, and connect it to both scales. In order to distort the coordinates, we need to add a mix color node and set it to linear light. Now plug the vector output into the first socket and the noise color output into the second. We want this value to be pretty small, something like 0.005, just to add a little distortion. We want to have this dependent on the scale, so a better way to do this is to add a math node and set it to divide. And divide 0.5 by the scale, which is 100, and then plug this result into the factor. We now want to add a separate color node and separate the Voronoi texture. For the next step, you can either use a color ramp or a map range. I will use a map range, and this will increase the contrast by setting the from min and from max values, something like this. We want to do the same for the green channel as well. And now we can use this two maps to mix between our colors. So add two mix color nodes, plug in the colors. For this example, I will use a white, a pink, and a black. Connect the mixed colors like this, and then plug the factors. Now if we preview the last mix node, we can see a pretty good result, but we can make it even better. We are going to copy all these nodes and move them up. Now instead of the Voronoi, we want a double noise. That means adding two noise texture and plugging the color output of the first into the vector of the second. We are going to use the same texture coordinate and also the same scale for the first noise. Set the other properties the way I set them now, and also change the first noise to 4D. So this setup is pretty identical to the one below. One thing I would like to change is inside the map ranges, giving it a greater contrast. So now we have these two color outputs, we want to combine them. I can't really explain why combine them this way. I tried in multiple ways, but the best seems to be with a mixed color node set to multiply the factor to 1, plug in the two colors, and to one of them add a vector math node, set it to scale, and set the scale to 2. This is how your setup should look. And now we have the final color. All we have to do now is connect that color to the principled BSDF node, set the roughness to something small if you want to give it a polished look, and we are done. If you want to make the material more practical to use, we can now select all these nodes and with Ctrl+G, place them in a group node. We can get an input and connect it to the W values to get a seed, and also have inputs for all three colors. You can even make an input for the roughness value and the scale value. Congratulations! Now you have a procedural granite material that you can use and modify. As I said in the beginning, this material is part of the shader library. The official material has more control than the one made here. If you want to get that, as well as all the other materials in the library, you can find the links below. This is the end of it. Until next time, bye!